There we go. All right. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday.
Yes, Thursday tea
party.
party.
Tea party.
Yeah.
Woo! It's a good day.
It is a
It's
good
rainy and gloomy outside, but it's a good day.
Yes,
Making our own sunshine today.
that's right. So first off, we would love to have suggestions on what you all want to hear us talk about.
Yes.
Because we were kind of at loss on what
I
to
mean,
talk, like
We could talk about all kinds of things.
Right.
But
Yeah.
sometimes it's very apparent to us what we want to say and what we want to
Mhm.
address and what's pressing out of us. And other times we're like, what do you think the topic should be
Yeah.
this week?
So
And-
kind of all week we were kind of going like, do you have an idea? No, I don't have an idea. So yesterday we recruited my daughter, Lexi, she's 14, and asked her, what do you think we should talk about?
What do you want to hear these two old ladies,
Yeah.
these two tea bags talk about?
And so she thought about it for a minute, which I was very happy that she didn't just kind of blow it off like, Mom, you're so weird.
She didn't, I mean, she came back like, not just in that moment, it was like a little bit later where she was like, maybe this, so she was really
Yeah,
giving
she
it some
was
thought,
thinking
which
about
I
it.
loved it.
Yes, so hers was how your way of thinking in the morning affects your day. So positive and negative thoughts, how they can truly affect your day.
Yeah.
So we're gonna run with it. We thought it
I
was
love it.
we thought it was a great idea when she said it. We're like, it's a great idea, and that's something that people sometimes do need to hear, because sometimes it's not always easy to be happy and be upbeat and think of the positives. Sometimes you really have to fight to look
the
for
good
that.
fight.
Yeah,
A good fight.
fight for those good things that you see in life, and even sometimes the littlest things, appreciate them. Be grateful
Gratitude
for them.
for the little things.
Yes.
I was saying, and I learned this from Wayne Dyer, but he has a practice and I love it. It's like before you even get out of bed in the morning, when your feet hit the floor, you just say thank you. Take a deep breath, give yourself that gift, say thank you, start your day that way. Try to keep yourself from like looking at your phone,
Yeah.
checking anything first, your social media feeds, your email, whatever is calling to you. Just be still for a moment. Say thank you.
Mhm.
Say hallelujah. Say yay, I woke up.
Right.
It's gonna be a good day.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Yeah. Well, and then that small action in the morning affects how the rest of your day is. I mean, one of the things that we were talking about yesterday, prepping for today, was how you start your day affects the rest of your day. Like if you start your day super chaotic and crazy, then the rest of your day kind of seems to follow that pattern. But if you start your day and you wake up and you're like, all right, it's going to be a good day, I'm looking forward to this that I'm going to do later, or these people that I get to see, or whatever the case is, whatever you decide to be your positive thought, then that just sets the stage for your entire day.
And if you are responsible for other people in the morning, it sets the tone for those other people too.
Yeah.
I mean, being in relationship to people is not always the most pleasant or the most easily navigated first thing in the morning.
Right.
And depending upon the temperament of the people around you, people are different. Some people just need a little space and some quiet in the morning. Other people are ready to go. And a lot of that is just consideration. But, like when I was waking up my 5-year-old this morning, I was thinking about it, like how differently we handle our children when they're babies. And, you don't want to wake them up.
Right.
But if you have to, you do it really gently.
Mm-hmm.
And then somewhere along the line, I mean, I know in my childhood growing up, it was not pleasant. It was that chaotic, it was loud, it was like, you know, really abrasive alarms going off in the morning, and then it was just this like agitation, the way that we started the day. And because of that, I choose to handle my kids differently. And that's not to say that there's not the hustle. There's the hustle, you know, you gotta go. There's, you know, if you got kids to get out to school in the morning, you've gotta get to work, you've got people and places to go, and, you know, gotta be places. But it doesn't have to be offensive to anybody, you know, and that, I feel like that takes a lot of ownership.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I choose that. I wake up in the morning, thank you, grateful. Okay, what do I need to do? And how do I get these boys on board so that we get to where we need to be, and nobody's starting their day like, oh my gosh, mom is a wicked witch, and I'm not looking at my kids like, you know?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of ownership, I feel like.
Well, and then sometimes when, you know, you do have those off mornings, and maybe you end up, you know, you lose your temper at your kids or whatever happens, and then you send them off to school or daycare or wherever, and then you kind of think about it, you're like, man, like,
yeah, you
that,
feel terrible about
like
it.
that is not the way that I wanted to send them off.
Right.
And, you know, not that you should ever guilt trip yourself for things like that, but it's, you know, to be aware of it and think like, okay, I had a bad morning, I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna turn this around, and I'm gonna let go of that, or, you know, and then you send them a text like, hey, sorry about the morning.
Right. Oh my gosh, the introspection of it, for the awareness of it, and then acknowledging where you fell off. Because, okay, say that happens, you don't do that, you go into an office, and then maybe somebody that, you know, says something to you that, you know, some way that you're just not in the mood to take it or whatever,
Right.
you snap at that person too, and it's this chain reaction that otherwise you could have, you have the ability to turn that around, you know?
Yeah.
Take a deep breath, reset, choose, and then you respond and you don't react. And what were we saying? Like, and then whoever you come in contact with, if that person is the intrusion and, you know, is the assault on your good mood, if you know how to self-regulate that, and you know, like, you have that sense of resiliency, and, you know, and you're just at that high vibe, they can't get to you.
Right.
They can't get to you. And then if you stick with that and you take the ownership to say, I'm not letting this impede on where I am today, chances are they're gonna find a way to rise up.
Right.
And you don't sink, they come up, and you both feel better.
Yes.
And hopefully that is the paying forward that goes on.
Right. Yeah, and then hopefully, you know, your interaction with them brought their day up, so then they obviously continue on, and, you know, maybe then they start to have a better day because of their interaction with you.
Right.
So if you can have that positive vibe in you all day, that goes forward throughout, you know, the entire day.
Right.
But, well, and then another thing that we kind of had talked about yesterday, some of you may have seen, Dr. G did a testimonial yesterday with his son, Matt.
Fantastic.
Yeah, which it was it's a fantastic story of healing. But one of the things that Matt says in the testimonial is, you know, he was having days where he was waking up in just a lot of pain, but he knew he had to move, and he's woke up and said, okay, I have to make the choice to push forward, and move and find that positive,
fight for the positive.
So if you haven't watched it, I do highly recommend watching it, because it's beautiful story.
And it's real. And Doc and his wife Sue touch on that in there, is that, you know, sometimes the concept in being in the wellness field and us always talking about vitality and vibrancy, people get the impression that we're impervious to any type of illness or sickness or health challenge. That's not true. I mean, things befall us, but again, you have the choice. You have the choice to say, I'm not gonna let this get me. I'm not gonna let this, or it's somebody else's situation. And that's not to say you bypass any of the difficult stuff. That is gonna be there. But in your choice to fight for the positive and to stay there, it's gonna be a hell of a lot easier to accept that challenge and come out the other side as a warrior. And I love the story. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's very touching. Please take a peek at it. It's about 11 and a half minutes long, but it's a great story about their health journey with Matt's Lyme's disease. And just to, put that out there. So if you know somebody that is struggling with any type of health challenge, please share that with them too.
Yeah.
So.
What else do we have?
I did want to touch on Heart Math just a little bit. That is it's a software and a tool and technique that we use here in the office. We monitor heart rate variability, which is super important. It's a very good marker of somebody's true physiological, chronological health. We can explain more of that if you have any interest in it. But Heart Math has an amazing free app. And if you are looking for a way to figure out how to get into a practice that resets your nervous system for when you are in those moments, and even when you're not, I mean, just to sit there and give yourself 5 minutes of breath, give yourself that gift. But again, if you are disciplined in that practice of that, your body starts to remember. So when you get into these situations or you come into contact with, people or places that can trigger you in ways, you have this tool and this technique for how to reset and self-regulate your nervous system. So I highly recommend that. It's heartmath.org. They have fantastic research, meditations, everything on their website, and then their app is free. So check that out.
Wonderful.
What else?
I don't know. I mean, I know, well, the one thing, let me grab that sign.
Oh.
So we were talking about this yesterday. Even at our front desk, I don't know if you can read this. Okay. So one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. So this is what we keep at our front desk. Because it is true.
It is true.
So wake up in the morning, have that positive thought, and be grateful for the little things that happen. Be happy when you hit a green light. Driving, I do that quite often.
To that.
Driving to work, on my way here, go through about 10 stoplights on one road. And
it can make a big difference
in
timing.
Yeah, and it can be a 6-minute drive, or it can be a 12-minute drive, depending on how, the red lights or whatever hit. And every time I hit a green light, I'm like, thank you, and a lot of times, I'm lucky that I do hit those green lights, but it's just being grateful for little things like that. Like, if you could just pick out those little things, it just makes things better.
And pick out the things that you can do. Don't pick on the things that you can't do.
Yes.
Pick out the things that are going right, not dwelling on the things that are not. Because if you choose to see that silver lining, if you choose that higher vibe, it's gonna keep coming to you. It is that law of attraction. Absolutely. So it's what you can do.
Yep.
What you can do, what you're in control of, what you have a choice about, and how that affects others.
Absolutely.
That force field around you. For certain. So, I want people to bounce right off of that sunshine.
Right.
Right?
Right. So I
that's
I think that's all our points that we really wanted to get to. But just like we said in the beginning, if you have something you want us to talk about, please let us know.
We want to know.
If you don't want to post it directly on Facebook, you can text the office. You can send us a message on Facebook. You can tell us when you come into the office if you do come into the office right now. But we're totally open for suggestions on what to discuss.
Yeah, ways to connect.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. Yeah. One big connective tissue, y'all.
So with that, I think we'll leave it with. Oh, and a big shout out! It's my dad's birthday. So
happy birthday, Papa!
Happy birthday! So that's it. I'm glad I remembered that at the very tail end. So everyone have a wonderful day.
Right.
Continue with those positive thoughts, and we'll see you next Thursday.
That's right.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
Be well.